Welcome to Bench Bosses and Brews, a podcast where your hosts will dive into the Johnstown Tomahawk Hockey, the junior hockey landscape overall, a look into other bench bosses and their ways, and as always, end with some random thoughts. Sit back and relax, maybe with a brew in hand, and let the Bench Bosses and Brew crew help pass some time.
Welcome back to Bench Bosses and Brews, episode 2, post-Thanksgiving episode for us fellas here. A podcast where we talk Tomahawk talk, brew choice, around junior hockey, the coach's corner, and our favorite random thoughts on the week. I am your host, Adam Hooley. With me, my fellow host, Jeff Bo Parlant. I think I got that right.
There
and
we
Nick
go.
Mish, formerly known now as Mish and Bo. Fellas, welcome back. How's Thanksgiving for you guys?
Good. It wasn't bad. Like I said, I absolutely destroyed some deviled eggs. So, my wish came true. And I think there was like a triple batch waiting for me when I got to the house. So everything went smoothly there.
Deviled egg Mish.
That's right.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Bo, what about yours?
Thanksgiving was great. Upstate New York. It was a little cold. Got colder as the days went along, but it was a nice day and great day. We had 25 people. I think I mentioned that to you guys in passing, but my mother-in-law hosts every year and 25 people. So it was jammed, but always great to catch up with family and extended family.
Yeah, I mean that's the best part. It's one of my favorite holidays, right? You get back, you get to enjoy family, and sometimes you only see them once, twice a year. For me, it was a little bit smaller this year. My sister had a baby, so we kept it a little bit smaller, but which was nice. I have an older brother, younger sister, so nice to have their families over and be able to enjoy it and kind of understand the bigger picture there. And certainly, as no foray into that tough weekend for the Tomahawks, tough weekend for us overall. But Mish, I'll kick it over to you a little bit right now for Tomahawk talk, and go ahead and get us started.
Up next, Tomahawks, and more Tomahawks. It's Tomahawk Talk time. A look back at the weekend and a quick look ahead for Johnstown's favorite team, your Johnstown Tomahawks. Let's go!
Yeah, so like you said, a little bit of a rough weekend for us. We got swept this weekend by a good New Jersey team. Unfortunately, we were blanked for 6 periods. We lost 2-0 and 4-0. I thought overall our play wasn't bad, but there was definitely some ups and downs and some lack of effort here and there, and it's a tough one. It's hard to kind of dive into it because it was just one of those weekends where everything that could have went wrong did go wrong. I mean, the one goal off the face-off, kid wrist shots it, goes off the stanchion behind the net, bounces right to the right side of the post, and the kid's standing right there and bangs it in, right? Like, just kind of that weekend where everything, kind of went off the rails a little bit. But, we had a good week of practice this week. I thought the guys were up tempo. I think we had a good meeting with the boys to get them kind of dialed back in for this weekend, and then we go 4 against a tough team in Maine. So, you guys have any kind of comments on the weekend? Like I said, I didn't really want to go into too much. It was a stinger of a weekend. So,
Yeah,
let you guys kind of comment on it.
It's tough. Go ahead, Bo.
No, I was going to jump in and say, obviously I was on the road scouting this weekend and wasn't in person, and watching it obviously on the online is a different perspective. And I think that, the first game I thought we came out and had some chances, and we had a broken stick on a one-timer or an open net chance, and one where their goaltender played fantastic that first game. I thought we challenged him early, and he kind of answered the bell. And he's committed Division I to Boston University for a reason. So sometimes, Adam, you and I talked. You got to tip your hat, and I thought that was Friday. Obviously, Saturday we don't need to dive into too much. It was as Mish said, a tough game, and just things happen that sometimes don't happen, and in 60 games you're gonna have tough ones like we did Saturday.
Yeah, I think I stand in it, and like you said, I thought the Friday first period, I thought we came out really, really strong. I thought we played really well. I thought they sat back, they went into a little bit of a trap. We made some adjustments. I thought we did some good stuff in the second period, and then to me, obviously, we get a 5-on-3 and a chance to put the game in your favor. and you don't, you know that a power play for them is coming up, right? It's bound to happen, and that's exactly what happened, right? They get a power play there, they bury, they go up 1-0, they get a power play a couple minutes later, they seal the deal and make it 2-0, and that makes it difficult, right? And it's tough in that. Tough on Friday night. I know, Mish, you're on the bench with me, but for me that was a homecoming game of sorts. I'm only about 10 minutes from that rink. I had probably about 50 to 60 people there, and that one was tough. It was a tough pill to swallow, because I thought we did well in the first, and we could have changed that outcome, and we didn't. And then obviously on Saturday, just a complete, lack of effort, and we didn't get it. We didn't get what we needed done. It's probably the first time I thought, luckily not to be home. We might have heard some boo birds walking off the ice. I really do, because just we weren't there. And that's going to happen. These are young men. We're, first time going through this as well from the staff, and we just didn't give the effort we thought we needed to do. There were still points in that game I thought we could have put some fight into the game, but ultimately it just wasn't our day. And, again, I'd rather do that now, where we are, versus late in the season, prepping for playoffs, prepping for something else. Go through that right now and take a look. And again, for me, looking at it, New Jersey for me is home. I'm also from a coaching tree under George Havlin, who was the coach for them. So it would have been nice to be able to pay back a little bit of Friday night when they came out here and won the first game. But kudos to them. They played really well, and no surprise where they are in the standings right now. And our job is to make those adjustments and be better when we see them again, and be better this week. Like you said, Mish, we got a tough team coming in Maine, another 4-game set. We need to make adjustments off our last 4-game set against the team, and practice this week's been phenomenal, as expected, right? These are young men. They're going to respond to a little adversity. They're going to respond to some tough love, and that's what I thought we got this week from them. And I'm pretty excited to see what we can do on Friday. Home crowd again. Anytime you're wounded, right, you want to go back home. You want some soup. You want some home cooking meal. Hopefully this is exactly what we need coming home, and give the fans something to get really excited about on Friday night and Saturday night. Looking at that, but I don't know if you thought anything from the 30,000 feet look from where you were. I don't know if anything stuck out in your mind. Anything you see?
I mean, not really. I think you kind of covered it all. What I was most impressed with coming back into the locker room this morning, getting back in after the snow day yesterday, is the business-like approach that our guys had. Like, I thought it was a good vibe, and it wasn't an aloof vibe. It was more of a, it's a serious, we know that wasn't what we expect as players or as a staff. And I thought everybody's approach today, and you guys mentioned it Monday during Monday's practice, the energy, the pace, the positivity, but the focus. And I think at times, you said it, Adam, they're young men. They're going to lose focus. And it's our job as a staff to circle the wagons, if you will, and bring them back to center. And I thought the mood of the group was really good today. And we need to carry that through the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. The craziest stat there, and I know Mish will yell at me, but the shots on net, although low at 13 on Saturday, we had 8 scoring chances off those 13 shots, right? So to me, it doesn't dictate what level of scoring chances, but if we can increase that number and get it to a better spot. But the biggest thing, as we all said, is certainly the effort that came out of it. And we did a good job. We talked about it as a group. We need to own it, right? It made getting on this podcast harder, right? Let's all be real. A lot harder to come on here and talk it after a tough loss and a tough weekend. Easier when we do well, right? So we get excited to do that. Player-wise, again, I don't know if there's anything that stuck out. Ferris, again, battled all weekend. I was impressed with him staying mentally sharp, not getting frustrated with us, and he gave us everything he could to give us a chance to win the game. We weren't able to do that, but again, he saw a lot of shots, and he battled, and he competed. And again, we just need that kind of more consistently as we go through the lineup there. Mish, anyone you thought from the bench? Again, I don't particularly think anyone was not great, but anyone that you think maybe stick.
Trying to think here.
Well,
Off the top of my head, I mean,
and I'll jump in while you're thinking that. I
yeah,
thought Griffin coming off injury was good.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Friday night. I thought, I thought he brought energy. He's a great little puck moving defenseman that can create on the rush. He's a, kind of that little pit bull in the corners that never backs down from anything, and he's 5'8", 5'9", plays like he's 6'2", 6'3". I thought he did that coming off, and we didn't play him Saturday just to monitor his minutes coming off injury, but I thought Friday night he was a spark plug for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't disagree. I think that's good.
yeah, I think on the offensive side, you kind of got to give it to Jar. I thought that even though, sorry, it wasn't his best game, I think that when he's on the ice, he's always looking to do something. He's always going 100 miles an hour, always trying to create energy. And like I said, even though I'm sure that he wasn't happy with the game he had, but I think that any time that he's on the ice, there's an opportunity for something to happen, right?
Yeah.
So I have to give it to the captain on that one. I thought he played a pretty decent weekend.
Yeah, I think, again, ultimately, we're small in what we did, but we'll be better. I'm excited to see the response here and get ourselves in a good position. The standings are tight. Again, you take a look at it. We remain relatively in the same spot with no change. So, again, this weekend's really important to try to find points where we can and make sure we're in a good spot moving forward, right? So, that will remain the focus. Obviously, we need to be better. We know that. But at the end of the day, we get another opportunity this weekend to show up and perform in front of our crowd, which is a difference maker, right? There's no doubt about that. We're pretty impressed with that, which I'm excited for. So, any last words on the weekend or week ahead here?
The only thing I had just for fans out there, we did make a player personnel move. We traded Chase Lowry to the Corpus Christi Ice Rays in exchange for William Stewart, a big right-handed forward who will help provide some offense and some physicality coming as a 20-year-old into our lineup.
Awesome. Well, with that, for those who watch on YouTube, they will see a pretty nice face looking guy jump on in us, and it's our guest for Coach's Corner. So with that, let's kick it over now to Coach's Corner. Started. There he is, the big man. How you doing?
Looking good, buddy. Looking good.
Thank you. How's it going, gentlemen? All right?
First time, long time. That's how you got to start it, right? You're a big time listener here.
Exactly. Every week. I'm a fan.
But let's get started. Obviously, guys, our first real installment of Coach's Corner, and nobody better, in my mind, to start us off here than Chris Sorella. Chris Sorella is a close friend of mine. Chris Sorella is one of the top coaches I know throughout the world. He's a really put together. The Avalanche have been a tremendous team for all their existence. And Chris has been doing this now for many years. I won't go into how many years. Chris, I'll keep your age on a good spot.
I appreciate that.
But Chris's background, obviously, again, he played in Waterloo, he played in the USHL. His best feat to date, probably, and he still reminds me all the time. When he went off at Quinnipiac, he's still the all-time points leader. And certainly when he's in the building there, they let him know. I think you were a trivia question, Chris, the other day, right?
That's right. I guess I am a trivia question.
It's unbelievable.
Cheers to
that.
When you get to the age when you're finally a trivia question, it's pretty cool,
That is a good point. I haven't got there yet.
Nope.
Before we kick it off with some questions to you, Chris, obviously, just looking at some of the things, you've amassed over 500 wins. I know that was a big thing, which is really important, but I know the one that you always stand by and something that I'm really impressed with is the amount of players you've put into college. You're over 400 into NCAA, and I don't think people realize how big that number alone is. It's a tremendous number, and I think it's one thing that kudos, and you can always tip your hat to in what you're doing. And I think it led to one of your jobs now as the director of player personnel for the Oklahoma Warriors in our league, a competitor in the North American Hockey League. Chris is now taking on that, which has been really fun to kind of talk shop on other things instead of just always the same conversations that we'll have. But obviously, Chris, welcome. Pretty happy to have you on. You're always fun to talk to, and certainly good face to see, which is good. For that. So welcome aboard.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, I definitely appreciate it. And I said to Hooli the other day, I got to get on the podcast. I think actually I know both for a long time now. How long? Been a long time.
Well, it's been close to almost 20 years, Chris, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the old the old Met and AJ days, back in the mid 2000s. So,
Yeah,
it's an honor having you on the podcast. Like Adam said,
thank you.
it's there's no one better. Someone who enjoys his brews and knows a ton about hockey, right? So welcome. We're honored to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Definitely, it's good to talk shop too, and like Adam said, see friendly faces and whatnot, and now all different leagues and different things going on in junior hockey. But it's great to talk shop, and definitely excited to be on.
Awesome.
So, Chris, Nick here. I've never met you in person, but I've obviously heard a lot about you and recruited some players for you my second year in the league. But just real quick, so how did you and Adam meet?
So Adam had just come into the Eastern Hockey League. I think it was in 2017. We were in Green Bay U18 Nationals. Kind of went
Me
out
too.
and saw this guy. Kind of, I'm like, like, he could be related to me. Maybe I'm not sure, or could be my son. Not really sure which one.
You did have a pro career, so you never know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Never know. Never know. I think I was in Jersey a couple of times, back in the days of Long Island there. So who knows? But yeah, so we were at Midget Nationals in Green Bay and just kind of watching players. We were standing next to each other, started kind of talking. And at the time, I had no idea, kind of who he was in terms of that he was just coming into our league and kind of, we built a rapport that way as, hockey guys first. And then, now he's like part of my extended family here. And it's kind of our friendship's grown. Our professional relationship has grown too in terms of hockey, and so it's been awesome to obviously watch his successes as well. We probably talk every day. If we don't, it's kind of weird, but it's been exciting to watch him join Johnstown and see the job he's doing there with you guys. It's been great. Like I said, it's an extended family now more than a friend.
So to that point in family, you've got to know Adam over the years, and I'm living with him, and I'm picking up on certain things that he likes to do or not do, and he definitely has his superstitions or rituals, I guess, and there's this summer one that I kind of have heard a little bit about. Can you elaborate on that one?
Oh yeah, well we do a big bash for Mr. Hooley's birthday there down in Jersey, and it's kind of it's become an every year tradition where I go down, spend about 3 or 4 days, obviously with Rachel and Hudson and Dakota and Jake, and we have a little bit of fun. We're getting older now, but we do a little club in there on the Jersey Shore, which you know being Italian and from New York, the Jersey Shore thing is awesome. So for me, it's kind of like I get to go back home for 3 4 days being in New Hampshire here, and but yeah, we have a lot of fun, and the best part of it is just being with Adam, his wife, and who like I said, our extended family, and then hanging with his kids and Hudson and Jake and Dakota, and so it's kind of nice. I can't forget Grandma. Can't
Yeah,
forget
that's right. Don't forget grandma. She'll get upset with you if she doesn't know her name.
mention grandma. Yeah, so it's kind of nice. We go out to dinner. We go to the bars. We dance. We have a great time. It's like we're 18 again, and we have a lot of fun. We don't remember a lot of it, but it definitely is a lot of fun. So I look forward to that every year. I'll be buying my plane ticket here soon.
That's good.
Awesome.
No, that's good. And like I said, I think it's been a really nice, obviously, personal relationship and a professional side as well. Just being able to compete against you and being able to go against you and do those things. But let's go a little bit more deeper so our audience can get into it a little bit. Obviously, you place 400 players into NCAA. You have a tremendous background. You've now been elevated in a sense to player personnel in the North American Hockey League. What are some of the biggest differences you're seeing right now in the recruiting stage at the level with the Avalanche in the EHL, even in Oklahoma recruiting players at different levels? What is the difference, right? We met at Tier 2 Nationals, and it was me and you, and that was it. It was kind of a hidden thing.
Yep.
Now you go there's probably 40, 50 people there. So what are some of the big changes you're seeing on the recruiting trail, or you feel like, again, you've been in this so long, what is on and what is going on the recruiting trail, and
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, that's a great, like, being in the trenches is kind of cool. It's one of the things I really enjoy doing. And, I've always recruited hard, recruited well. I recruit in season, so it makes life easier in the off season for me. But like just for instance, going to watch prep school games, that used to be a college hockey hotbed, right? Like you would go to the Avon Christmas tournament and it'd be all about colleges, D1 schools, this and that. Now prep schools, really it's more for the junior guys, right? So the landscape's changed that way where, a 17, 18-year-old high school, prep school graduate used to go right to college, even D3 and whatnot. Now it's the 21-year-old freshman, right? So now when you go to prep school games, there's a lot of junior teams there now, which is definitely a little different. And then the other swing of it is technology, right? So there's a lot of couch recruiting too, right? You can jump on Instat. I know the NA uses the TPE thing and stuff like that. So there's a lot more ways to skin the cat, if you will. So I think as I've gone through this, I'm not a great technology guy, but I kind of try to figure it out. But there's a lot of different ways to recruit now. There's advisors. There's just so many different ways where, back when I first started, it was paper and pencil and, that kind of thing. And you did a lot of driving and stuff like that. Now it's more, you can watch kids in the U18, U16 loop in the Midwest on Instat and things like that. I think from some sense and purposes, it got a little bit easier, but there's a lot more you can see now. So it's harder from that sense.
Yeah, I mean, again, and I don't mean to jump in, but that to me is a big part of it. What are your thoughts with, like you said, now there can be a lot of recruiting done from the couch, a lot of recruiting done from your setup at home. What is your process when you're going to recruit a kid? I mean, obviously back in the day, a little bit different, but now you got to go through conversations with the player, his advisor, maybe mom and dad, and meanwhile now he's getting 3 different texts from 3 different programs off of Instagram. Kind of walk me through a little bit your process, maybe at the Avalanche first, and then even in Oklahoma now as you represent them.
Yeah.
What is that steps? Do you kind of evolve your steps? Do you jump in and try to go old school where you talk to the parents first and then go from there? What kind of is your process in your mind?
Yeah, well, I do. I always talk to the coach of the current team that the player's playing because I think that's huge. That person's with them every day, so you want to find out what their practice habits are, what kind of character they have, how their family is which is another a big one now. Families are more involved than ever before, so you want to talk to the coach, see how how do the parents behave, are they good people, and those kind of questions, and then I go to the player obviously. And then from there, I always call the family. If there is an advisor, I do work with the advisors. That's not a problem. It's kind of the way of the walk now, as you guys know for sure. That's probably biggest piece now is advisors. But there's channels. I take those steps. Make sure I check in with all those channels and then go from there. And it's no different with I kind of have the same process. With Oklahoma and the North American League, I pretty much do the same thing. I talk to parents, talk to the player, talk to coaches and advisors. So I haven't really changed it too much because my big thing is if it works, why change it, right? So I found success at both the levels, in terms of player and recruiting those players. I've found success doing it the same way. So it's comfort zone for me, right? So which has been good.
Yeah, I mean, tell the tape, right, Bo? You're in the same position for us here at the Tomahawks. Similar things. I mean, what you're hearing from Chris, you're going through the same battles.
It is. I think it's trying to work smart because there can be so much information now. Chris, you touched on traveling to rinks and you got the paper and pen and now I've slowly graduated to the laptop. You see,
Yeah,
I'm trying to stay with the younger crowd, Chris,
yeah,
and getting the pictures of the lineups before, and then just using the iPad pen and jotting stuff right into the iPad, and I find it actually helps keep me organized a little bit
yeah.
better than having the papers all over.
Right.
I know guys that are still using binders, still using folders for different levels and different kids they talk to. It's really finding your way and
Yep.
sticking to it because you're right. If you start jumping all over the place as a recruiter and as a scout, you're gonna lose track and you just
Um,
have to stick to what works for you
yep.
and a lot of it's similar. A lot of it is similar.
Yeah, it's about niche, right? Finding your niche and sticking to it, right? I mean, I'll be honest with you. Over here on my kitchen table, I still have a pile of papers with names and numbers on them. I haven't fully gone Google Sheets yet. I know Coach Hooley here. He's been trying to hack away at get me to. Okay, he sends me things that I can't open, and you know, so I'm trying. I'm doing my
You're
best.
trying. You're trying.
Yeah, I'm
We'll
doing.
have to get you on the iPad, Chris. We'll have to get you on the
Yeah,
iPad.
yeah. I don't know if I'm fully ready for the iPad yet, but
You just got to get an expense there, Chris. Get an
There we
expense.
go. There we go.
I got a good question for you guys, and can you be both this day and age? Can you be a good coach and a good recruiter, or does it have to be give and take? Obviously, Chris, I believe you prove you can be a good coach and good recruiter. But again, is there a different style for it? I look at it now. I got a great staff. I got led by Gary and my GM, and then Bo as my player personnel, and again Mitch as our assistant GM. I'm pretty spoiled here in Johnstown, and I feel like for me, it has allowed me to focus a little bit more on the coaching aspect of it. We're I'm unlocking some different things I never even thought possible. The amount of literature that I'm now reading and doing, which has been really good. And then there is that fear, right? Like, wow, would I be able to get back into the game of the recruit side of it? I'm still doing it a little bit with the 87s and Maddie, but Mitch, what do you think? You think you'd be a good recruiter and good coach? Can it be one or the other? What would your be? What would your mantra be?
No, I think they kind of go hand in hand, right? Because if you're a good coach, right, you communicate well. You're always loyal and honest to your players, and if that comes across whenever you're recruiting players, I think that helps them buy in to your program more, and then it just kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
bro.
I mean, I think I was definitely spoiled, kind of going through the process, playing in a great league like the USHL, and then getting to play at Quinnipiac. There's one thing, the I played for there is still there, Rand Pecknall, and there's a reason why he's so successful. It's because he can do both. Really, he's an unbelievable recruiter, and obviously he knows how to win. He's a great coach and a great motivator. So I think definitely you can be both if you work at it the same, right? Everything takes work. So if you work at becoming a better coach every day too, like I'm in year 22 this year, and I still call guys like Adam. I've talked to you about systems and different things, and like I always want to talk hockey. I call whether it's Rand or Bill Kangas at Williams, or somebody. Hey, my power play stinks today. Like how can I shake it up? So if you're always trying to evolve and get better as a coach, um, you know. I feel that makes your recruiting better too. So I think it goes hand in hand for sure.
Hey, on that note, Chris, like how would you advise a player to get noticed for the Avalanche or for Oklahoma or for Johnstown
Yeah,
or
well,
the USHL? Like, what advice do you have for any player that's listening to
yeah,
this?
I think the biggest thing that the players nowadays miss on, and as much technology as they have, is they don't communicate. It's I have players that play for me, and I'm sure you guys too. A college coach sends them a text message, "Hey, it's such and such," and want to talk, and they don't text the coach back. I mean, right there is a huge red flag, and I think that's one of the biggest things is communicate. Don't be afraid to send your own emails and communicate on your own, and not obviously your coaches and your staff has to do the job for you, the people that you play for, but you have to advocate for yourself too. So what we tell our guys is we look at it this way. I tell my guys, until you're committed, you're unemployed, and any coach that calls you, it's a job opportunity. And you will go on all the visits, you will call coaches back until you commit. Once you're committed, then obviously, it's the game's over. But you can either contact that coach back and have that job opportunity, or you can stay unemployed. That's kind of your decision. So we kind of look at it that way with the Avalanche, and no different with Oklahoma. It's the same thing. It's just different levels, right? The NA has a different level of college player than the AHL does. But it's the same story. It's the same song, right? So I think the biggest thing is communication. advocate. Don't just rely on other people. Your performance will dictate a lot, but your character and your communication skills will also dictate a lot. So, the biggest thing, somebody calls, respond. And that's one of our, definitely one, and go on visit everywhere, even if you don't think you like that school, because you never know if you're going to like that school or not.
Yeah,
And
that's a
the other
good
thing
point.
these
It's a
kids don't
great point.
realize is college coaches, they change hats a lot.
Yeah, you
So
never know, right? Like
yeah, if
it's
correct, if
I
it's an
use
old
my path right now, right? I was ready to go to war with you in 4.5 weeks, and I called you one night and said, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna
yep,
I'm gonna take a jump," and
yep,
and before you knew it, I jumped here, and
yep,
um, I can't tell you how many text messages I got back from players who didn't respond to me with New Jersey and then wanted to
right,
go to Johnstown, and it's like I'm never going to turn down a bad player, but at the same time, it kind of showed me a little bit. I wasn't good enough at one point, but now I am, and I just think the world doesn't operate like that. I think that's the biggest thing for me is you got to treat it the same way you would treat anything else. You never know what's going to happen, right? You don't know where any four of us are going to go right now, and just to have a relationship is really really big. I'm going to go a little deeper here in this question, a little bit more. Um, Talk to me, Chris, a little bit about. Obviously, I know your family. You got great kids. You do a lot. You do skills. You got a lot going on. Um, what do you do on you time? What do you do on Chris's time? And to me, that correlates to being the best person you could be and best coach possible. Talk to me a little bit about kind of outside the rink. What do you do to keep yourself sharp so that when you get to the rink, you know you're having the best possible day you can have? I talk to my players about it all the time, how important it is to take care of everything outside the rink so that you're the best when you come to the rink. So talk to me really. What do you do outside the rink to kind of reset and get yourself going?
yeah. I mean, I think for me, it's like big relax time too. Sometimes, sometimes I just like to unplug and sit on my deck or just go fit. I'm a big fish guy. You know that
There you
I'll
go,
go
Mish.
fishing.
That's
Yeah,
Mish's valley right there, baby.
Absolutely.
He's trying to
yeah,
get me around here. I don't know
yeah.
if I can angling. Maybe I'd be a good angler. I don't know. I don't know, but that's a good
But
thing. Fishing.
for me, it's relaxing. We're in that grind of the season, and whether it's ice fishing or fishing in the summertime for bass and whatnot in the lake stuff, and it's for me that's kind of a big thing. I have 5 kids, a busy life, a dog, and things like that. So when it comes to me, like I just want to kind of relax and kind of recharge. And I think that's so important for coaches to kind of unplug from the rink a little bit and enjoy your life and your family, because life of a coach is very tough, and life for family of a coach is also very tough.
Yeah.
So when you're away from the rink, put that time in with your kids and your family, because before you know it, you're gonna get my age here, and
It's not that high yet. You're all right. You're all right.
not there yet, not there yet. But what, like I said, your kids are going to get older and things like that, and you're going to miss out on stuff. And I was, I enjoyed like going to my son's college football games when he
Yeah.
graduated 2 years ago, no, a year and a half ago, and I took every Saturday the luxuries of playing in the EHL. We play during the week. Tuesday, Thursday game is better than a Friday, Saturday, because the colleges are off during the week. So I would make sure I took every Saturday off. That this way I can go to his his college football game and watch, whether they were home or away. So, I just do things like that to kind of stay busy and keep myself energized.
Yeah. I just think it's so important to how long the season is, and then there's really never an off season. Even though you might not be at a rink, you're constantly recruiting. Your phone is constantly buzzing,
Yep.
trying to check out. I know for me, it's a Friday golf round. It almost becomes a staple there to have that Friday. And I put it up there. You see it all the time, right? I get out
Yep.
there and I'm able to kind of relax and kick
Yep.
back and
Yep.
enjoy a little bit from there and do that, which is good. So
Yeah.
that part is really big. How about you, Bo? What do you got going?
I'm a big, I like to read. It's hard during the year to work that in, but I find that in the off season, I try to find 2 or 3 good books to learn from, usually outside the hockey realm if I can. And then podcasts. We talked about podcasts. I don't really listen to hockey podcasts. I know that may sound odd. I listen to podcasts that focus on football and basketball just for a break from hockey.
Yep.
And then the only one I do listen to is the OHL podcast every week. Just keeps me up to date there because I do still scout for Saginaw. And that was going to lead right in my question. Is there a book or a podcast that you would recommend, Chris?
I think for me, to be honest,
He's like, I don't know a book. I got
no,
think.
no, that's not true. That's not true. I'm a big mob.
Okay.
I'm a big
Surprise,
mob.
surprise. You think that's
I'm a
Long
big mob
Island and
book guy.
living in
The
New
Mob
Hampshire now?
of the Mob. Have you read that?
I have not. I just finished up the John Gotti biography, which is really good. So when I do read books, it's usually something that kind of piques my interest. No different like watching, TV and stuff like that. I try to do stuff that piques my interest, and obviously the Goodfellas and the Casinos of the world in terms of movies. But I will dabble in some mob kind of books. I
Right.
just have a little bit
Coming
of
from
head,
the
but,
Long Island hockey coach living in New Hampshire now. We get it, Chris. We get it. Listen, look, Chris, why don't we stay on here? I want to move quickly here to, because again, I'm in that state where my brew is going down quickly. And before I forget, I want to get into that. Let's kick it over. Chris will stay with us here, but let's kick it over to Bruce.
It's that time. Brew time. Just when the day ends, the sky darkens. You sit back on the couch and crack a cold one. The moment you can finally exhale. Brew time. Here is this week's picks from our bench bosses.
Bo, we'll start with you.
So I've got Slow Bane. It's an Indian. It's an IPA. It's from the Hitchhiker Brewing Company out of Pittsburgh. So it's a company that's been around about 10 years, just over 10 years. We picked it up today. I like this one a lot. It's not a sharp IPA. It's very, very soft in its taste and its aftertaste flavor. No citrusy to it, so it doesn't have that like last week's did. But this one's really, really good. It goes down smooth and no aftertaste, which sometimes happens with the IPAs.
Yeah, I'll do that one in the morning for sure, right? I got Frost Beer Works from Heinsberg, Vermont, closer to Chris. It's a beer called Star Child. It's an IPA as well. Rocks in at 6%, which I gotta be honest, I think I can really I like the 6%. It's smooth, it's good, it's very tasty. I'm actually pretty impressed with it. I'll probably do a little bit more research on them after we get off this because that is a pretty smooth beer. It could be the podcast beer that gets to me, right? Like it's like an airport beer. You love an airport beer, you love an after shower beer. It could be a podcast beer guy, right? Like you just got to have a beer on the podcast. So pretty good stuff done by Frost there, but I'm pretty impressed.
start getting some advertisement there.
Hey, I know. Listen, sponsors, we're open to sponsors. So anyone listening, you're a rep for a beer company or really anything. And I know, Chris, you're not a beer guy. What do you got going?
I just got a little Belgian coconut seltzer. Yeah, it's a good little mix here. Yeah, I'm more of a vodka guy. I like vodka, so I do a little Belvedere and coconut seltzer.
Very nice.
Coconut. What are you on a kick right now? You got a coconut kick?
Yeah, I'm on a coconut kick.
Mish, what do you got?
All right, so got off that variety pack. I got a New Trail Brewing Company again. It's a
Nice.
double Broken Heels double hazy IPA.
I love
yeah. It's 9.2, and yeah, it's heavy on the grapefruit, heavy on the alcohol. So it's doing the job. It's doing the job
Yeah.
tonight for sure.
Oh, that's unbelievable. That saying that is a tongue twister for sure.
Well, yeah, especially after drinking some of it too.
Love it. I love
He
it. I love it.
disappeared there for 2 minutes. He was out.
Yeah, I don't know. I lost my internet connection. I come back, my background's off. I'm a mess right now.
If I know Mish, it could be a charge too. It could be a charge. You need that phone charger.
Oh yeah, I'm always on empty.
It's a life of kids, man. It is impossible.
Yep.
Which is good. But all right, awesome stuff. Let's head over to Around Junior Hockey and get into that a little bit. Some good stuff there. And probably why I'm wearing what I'm wearing right now as well. But I'll kick it over to you.
Next up, we're pouring into what's on tap. Junior Hockey News. Your weekly flight of the biggest storylines, fresh updates, and the can't-miss moments from rinks across North America. Whether it's commitments, major moves, rising players, or the top teams heating up, we've got it served cold and straight to the point. Let's crack this open and see what's on tap this week in our Bench Bosses Breakdown.
So, Junior Hockey World, busy last week with the CHL versus NTDP games out in Western Canada. The first game, the U.S. Team won 4-2. Brady Noling, Saginaw draft pick, made 42 of 44 saves for the win. The next night, Xavier Villeneuve scored the game winner late in the third after being down. Canada found a way to make it 4-3, and then because it's only a 2-game series, they did this new super overtime, 3-on-3 until someone won, and Victor Plant for the NTDP scored on a nice goal, cutting off the wall, going against the grain, just under the glove, over the pad. Where goal scorers score. Chris would know, and it's a great shot and a big win for the U.S. national team.
There you go. Yeah, I know we watched that first game. I was pretty impressed in watching it. That's why I threw on the USA jersey for that, right? Fun hockey to watch. I always find it really impressive to see the age groups being able to do what they're able to do. I don't know if I love the visor versus cage battle. I almost rather, I don't know. It's another topic for another day, but it just felt funky watching one team in visors, one in cages. Ultimately, all are trying to get to the pro level, so maybe go to visors. I know it's probably not the American way, but to me, you're eventually trying to get there. So do that, or the flip side, they're all most likely going to go to college as well. So I get it, but that series was pretty good, pretty impressive to see, and happy that it was a little bit better turnout for the red, white, and blue than certainly last year, if I'm correct, right? They didn't do too hot last year.
Yeah, they went 0-2 last year. The first game was a 6-1 blowout. Second game was a lot closer. I believe it was 3-2 the second game last year. So it was a much better showing for the NTDP, and both teams played pretty hard. I thought Canada did a good job kind of responding, getting down early in that second game, and knowing they had to win in regulation to force that super overtime. So. And then, in overtime, it was pretty balanced, and it's just one of those plays where, the puck got bounced. Next thing Plant has the puck coming off the wall, above the top circles in the middle of the ice. And, we tell guys to attack middle all the time. Chris, I'm sure you do too. Attack middle ice, and like you said, hell of a shot. So the next little piece that we had was, the rumors around adding the fourth league to the CHL. The USHL did file for the NJHL and the NTDL marks. That was confirmed this week, so keeping an eye on that, and if anything grows out of that, we'll report back. And last thing is the goalie's gone wild part, where there's been, I believe it's been 4 or 5 goalie fights in the past 2 weeks across the different leagues. It started with the Ferris Pachenin fight here in Johnstown a couple weeks back, led into the Mercer Westchester Wolves goalie fight in the NCDC just last week. Sioux City, Green Bay goalies this weekend, along with the Maryland Danbury goalies fighting. Mish, what do you got to say with these goalies going off the rails?
Hold on. I love that name you gave it, Bo. The goalie's gone
Goalie's gone wild.
baby.
That's the truth. We've had enough, like Ferris said, shots after the whistle aren't going to be tolerated anymore.
I got to talk to Ferris, so that shot was a little to the outside.
Yeah, it was definitely debatable. It was probably going to the corner, so I don't.
It is. Listen, from the coaching standpoint, where it's a little bit more prevalent now in the North American League here, fights are a hit or miss, right? It can generate tremendous amount of momentum. It can lose a tremendous amount of momentum.
Right.
You want to put yourself in a good position. I love in the defense of a player in the right situation. I don't like when it's just a big hit and it's just like, oh, it's a big hit, we got to go. I certainly get fired up when it's the right time and the right place. And I think that's few and far between now, but there is still places for it. And as long as no one is in a position where they're vulnerable and again going to get hurt, I don't mind when it's called upon and needed. Coming from a guy who's gotten into one professional fight in his life, that's I fight him on a daily basis, but professional. It was a one-time fight for me. So time or place. Goalies I've never seen. So that's been a whole new whirlwind for me. I don't know about you, Chris. Chris, you dropped him before? I don't know.
Yeah. USHL about 4 or 5 times. Minor pro, not too much, maybe 3 times in my career in the minors. That was about it.
All right.
Yeah, I was about 100. I was a big
Fantasy guy. Big fantasy guy.
lot of spears, a lot of checks.
Oh, that's too funny.
I was just a little guy, at 5'9" there, 5'9.5" on a good day. So, not a big guy. So, but, at times you have to defend yourself, So
Scrappy guy from Long Island.
that's it. That's it.
Too funny.
That's it for around junior hockey. I'm gonna send it back over to Adam for our favorite segment of random thoughts.
Awesome. Random thoughts is where, again, Chris, you can partake here. We'll give you a couple. You can go last here, but random thoughts for us is kind of things that pop up, things that you've been thinking about, things that you just thought of just now, all over. Mish, I'm going to kick over to you first because you kind of gave me a little sneak peek, and I think it's a great random thoughts and things to go with.
Yeah, so I don't know, Adam, you kind of brought it up last week about playing in the Quebec tournament. The biggest thing that I remember from the Quebec tournament was definitely the pin collecting.
Yep.
So do you guys still have your pins? What are some of the big go-tos when you were at the Quebec tournament? What were the ones that everybody wanted to get?
That's such a good question because this could be a podcast in its own. I have one in a vault right now, to be honest with you. My last devil pin I have. I won't let go of that. It's stored away somewhere special because when we went up, we had a very tiny dime size pin. And as you know, when you get up there, some people come with the pins the size of cell phones, right? And you're like, oh, I got to trade 7 of these till you go. Now, like the stock market, as the tournament goes, the teams that do well, their pin goes up, their pin rises. We were fortunate enough to win, and when we won, coming out of the tunnel and coming back up to meet our parents and get ready to leave, our pin could have been sold. I kid you not, it could have been sold for a Cadillac there. The amount of people that wanted it and what they were willing to trade for was nothing like I'd never seen before. Now, knock on wood, I have a Hudson being 8. He's a few years away. Jake did it when I was able to be a part of it with him. Hopefully Hudson can progress to that level and get there. But I'd be super excited to be back as a parent in a couple years, hopefully. But the pin thing is a big thing in the household of the Hoolies. Annette will be a proud one to tell you she still has all of them saved and put away for me somewhere. I don't even know where. She's probably still hiding them from me.
Did you guys bill it when you were up there? Did they have you stay with the families?
Yeah. First time I ever did that was when I was up there.
Yep. And
that was a whole different experience because we had a snowstorm. It was pretty wild. We went to the snow park, snow tubing, which everyone does. Yeah. And then it's even a blast when Jake went going into Old Quebec as you're an older person and can go out and enjoy a meal and drinks. Pretty cool to experience it from that side of it and just take it all in again. One of the greatest memories I'll ever have, and hopefully still something to be made with the little guy coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Bo, what do you got?
Go to Chris.
You got all right. We'll go to Chris. Chris, we'll put you on the spot. What do you got for random thoughts?
Geez, random thoughts. Well, I'm going to go back to the Bo's comment about the 3-on-3 there. The other, so randomly watching, Reels, Instagram Reels guy. I love it. It cracks me up. But, I do have, some hockey stuff that pops up. And what popped up is hockey over in Europe. They did a 3-on-3 overtime for 4 or 5 minutes, and then they went to 2-on-2. And the 2-on-2 was very good. It was fun to watch. So random thought, does that become something that could, happen here in the state?
Sure.
I think really fun hockey to watch. Tons of skill. And then I kind of kept going through it. They were doing it in women's hockey too at the old. So it was kind of cool. I was like, wow, this is something to talk about right here. Like,
Well,
could
tell them what Chris is in OT nowadays. What the Sorella move is.
oh yeah.
When you get
So
into 3-on-3 uh,
yes,
at the Avalanche level.
I pull the goalie every 3-on-3. So, we get the puck, we go behind the net, and I pull the goalie, and we run 4-on-3 every time. And the way I look at it is, I play to win. So, I want to outnumber them. And think about it: when you lose in overtime in 3-on-3, it's always a guy falls, or it's a 2-on-1, or a breakaway, or so you might as well turn over a puck and let them shoot it down the ice into the empty net anyway, right? So I play to win. You don't lose your point. So, that's kind of a really cool. My guys love it. We practice it. So yeah, so I've done it now, and I've only lost once so far in it. So, and my team stinks at the shootout every year. So I'm like, I want to avoid the shootout.
Get in, get out, get in, get out. Listen, you got to listen to your announcers when they see it and they don't know that he does it. It's the greatest thing ever. So they're like, "There's a penalty coming up." Wait, no, there's not a penalty coming up. Oh my God, Chris pulled the goalie. Why did he pull the goalie? Wait, the goalie's not. Phenomenal stuff. I'll go with my random thoughts. I guess my random thoughts would be shout out to Johnstown, our first real snow, and it was pretty. Took about 2 hours, and the cleanup was pretty quick. And before you knew it, I was back driving with no issues there. So that was pretty impressive, as expected. I kind of figured that they're pretty efficient here, which is good. But for me, that was pretty impressive to see and do. The other random thought I have was, again, just trying to continue to find different game day routines in the sense of what I want to have for coffee. I know it sounds crazy. We have ours here, Jeff, at home. I have mine where I go. Just trying to change up the routine a little bit and get into a new process. I think that's a big part of my pregame. Playing at, 7:30 versus 12 o'clock on a Friday is a whole different ballgame. So getting to the rink, I know usually I text Mish and make sure we're going to have something there, get into it a little bit. But those are my random thoughts on this one. What about you, Bo?
Okay, question for all of you, because it's a debate I have with my wife every winter, and we're in the winter season now. Do you go with a comforter, a quilt, or like a duvet, or none of the above? Like where do you guys fall on the sleeping, like comfortable warmth, but not too warm, but not too cold?
Duvet for me, I feel stuck. I feel like I get stuck in bed. I think I would have to go with a comforter to me. Or again, here, I rock a comforter here, which has been good. And that's probably my go-to all the time is a comforter. But I'm a no sock guy. I got to be very free and I got to be very normal. A duvet, I feel like I get stuck. Rachel probably would argue the other way around, but it's more for, as if someone's going to sneak up and judge our bed in the middle of the night. We have to have a duvet on, like for what? The Robin's not going to stop and say, hey, you know what? The Hoolies, they got a really nice setup.
Yeah,
We're not gonna allow it.
that's Rachel's style.
Yeah, hey, listen, that's her. So, but I'm a comforter guy, so and I enjoy a good comforter too. It's my way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm same thing. Comforter guy, bamboo sheets, and cold as can be. I got 2 fans going at night. I got the ceiling fan and another fan, and my room doesn't. It's set 61 degrees in my room.
Big guy's got to sleep cold, baby.
Yeah, Big Bear's got to be. It's a meat locker in there, But definitely comforter. Agreed.
Yes.
Yeah, I so absolutely has to be freezing cold, the most comfortable.
Yeah.
The biggest thing though that I went with recently was my wife bought me one of those weighted blankets.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like you're sleeping with a hug 24/7. It's awesome. It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. I love that thing. And then she steals it from me, so I haven't seen it in like 2 weeks. So
my oldest son loved them, and my oldest daughter, they both love those.
yeah,
they're
awesome.
Yeah,
listen, that's especially if you get cold. I mean, again, we all like to be cold. Rachel will get legitimately cold to the bone, where like she'll have to get in a full jumpsuit, jacket, like a full Eskimo getting into bed. Now you guys got to imagine myself, right? I'm going to bed and I'm like, who is this stranger next to me in full on get up? So some nights those are tough.
Is that Rachel or is that Sorella over there?
Yeah. Chris, listen, that could be a podcast. Our hotel story sleeping together. Those have been That could be the podcast after dark stories for sure.
Yeah, that's the next.
Which is
That's
good.
the OT. That's the OT special right there.
Right.
That's the OT special.
That's
There you go.
overtime.
Absolutely.
Behind the scenes look. All right, well, fellas, it's been a good one. Anyone have any last remaining thoughts? Obviously, we pretty good episode, and Chris, obviously, thanks for jumping on. It's been a huge fun to talk to you here and be a part of it, and obviously get to see and meet Bo and Mish, guys that I'm with 24/7 now.
Yeah,
so, any other thoughts? Anybody got anything, Mish? You got anything?
Nope. All good on my end, guys.
Oh, go Hawks.
Go Hawks. How about Chris? Anything on your end?
No, nothing. I am a Philadelphia Flyer fan, so I'm happy to see that they are actually doing pretty good.
Three goals in 59 seconds earlier. Chris. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So I'm pretty happy about that. And the Yankees will stink again, and the Jets are miserable.
All right.
Other than that, I mean, other than
Long
that, life is
Island
good.
guy.
Yeah,
When we get to a talk show, we're gonna call and say, "Hey, get that Long Island guy back on. We want him back on." But ultimately, fellas, another great episode. Looking forward to next week. We got a big set here against Maine, and then we'll head up to Maine. So that will be a good 4-game set for us to respond here, and something certainly we need to do. We'll check in again next week with Around Junior Hockey.